Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. With special thanks to our pals at ADT Taxis, Feed Me, Piglet's Pantry, Tiger, Leicester Garage Conversions, Pink Vehicle Leasing, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Moyer Wade Interiors, and our chosen charity, Memphis UK. We bring you the fans' views on the match each week, and your views matter to us. Join the fans debate each match with us. Follow us at Leicester Fan TV.
Everyone, it's Christian Fuchs here. I would like to say a big thank you to our fans and keep having our back for the upcoming Premier League season as well as the Europa League. Keep watching Leicester Fan TV. They have the latest news and they keep you up to date on leicesterfantv.com. So stay tuned and thanks for your support.
Good evening and welcome to Leicester Fan TV for the post-match show. It's finished Leicester 0, Arsenal 2. Obviously a late goal there from Nketiah for Arsenal. Obviously get your views in, guys, on the game. Let us know what you thought to the game, and the link as well will be sent out there for you guys to jump on and have your say. So let's add in Tom. Hello, Tom.
Evening, mate. You all right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, you know, it's one of those nights, weren't it? It's I think we saw how we were going to take the competition when the announcer started lining up, mate. So I don't think it was high priority this season, and it's proven costly, really.
That's it, mate. I mean, obviously, you know, at half time we were saying it was an open game. You know, it could go either way. What are your thoughts on the second half performance?
I'd say first half, I didn't think we actually played bad. I think we actually moved the ball well. We created a few opportunities. Nacho had the chance with the, one-on-one really against the goalkeeper's legs. After Albrighton put him through. Second half, I mean, just seemed to disappear. We just seemed to back off. It was toothless going forward. There was no one really getting involved. I mean, Maddison, the second half, he had that chance in front of goal. I mean, we're expecting Maddison to test the goalkeeper. Demarai Gray, test the goalkeeper. You get those chances, you got to test him. We're not testing anyone. We didn't test the goalkeeper enough tonight in the second half, and he's proved a point. I mean, if we're going to ask the question to the fans tonight, has anyone really pushed to get into the team for the weekend? Not really, for my opinion. I don't think, Daniel Amati had a bad game at the back. I thought he looked quite comfortable. It gives you hope that if we had an injury and we don't sign anyone, you've got someone who can come in there. Bar that, it was an average performance from everyone all round, and first goal's very unlucky. There you go, off Fuchs and in.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, obviously, you mentioned just there, and you mentioned it in the chat before the show, obviously, about the no players really showing Brendan that they should, have any or start the game, especially on Sunday. If you had to pick anyone, anyone that kind of not stood out, if you like, because I don't think anyone stood out, but any good performers.
I thought Juice Behold had a half decent game in the middle of the park again. I mean, you're looking at the senior players to stand up and account for. They want the opportunity to play. They've been given the opportunity. Demarai Gray, Chowdhury. I mean, Chowdhury didn't do a lot again tonight. I mean, I think he's another player who's lost his confidence seeing that Mendy signed a new contract and staying at the football club, because what was he probably thinking, that he'd be third choice, second choice Brian Diddy to play some for regular games, and Mendy signed a contract. He don't look the same player at the moment. But like I say, Maddison needs to get further forward. We saw that in the second end of the first half. When he got pushed further forward, he was more threatening. When he's deeper, he doesn't offer that threat. So, interesting lineup for Rodgers on Sunday. I think the main one will be, indeed, he goes back to his normal position, and Evans will come in. He's served his 3 games now, and I think at the weekend we saw how open we can be against Burnley. We're going to Man City away. You need to be playing as solid defence as we can.
Yeah, and there's a couple of people ready to join and have a chat with us, Tom. But just before we do that, I just wanted to ask you something. I was speaking to Jamie about it before the game. TJ said here, never like to see Leicester lose, but I can't say I'm too disappointed to be out of the cup, if I'm honest. What are your thoughts on that? Obviously, we've now got 3 competitions this season instead of 4. There's still the FA Cup. What are your thoughts on obviously the people that are saying, I'm not really bothered about the result?
A shame we can't do the quadruple, but we'll go for the treble instead. You've got to be a bit optimistic. Look, I think this season we all know. I think you got to be realistic where you're going to be pushing, and Champions League football is where we want to be. A route into that is by winning the UEFA Cup. I will still call it the UEFA Cup. It's a route into the Champions League, so you want to be pushing where you can get into that space. The FA Cup again, I think it'll be the same kind of team, depending where we finish after the group stages.
Yeah, completely agree. Let's just add in Reese first. Reese, how are you, mate? You're right.
I'm good, Locks, you?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. Just initial thoughts on the game?
I don't think we played too bad in the game. I think players like, I know Luke Thomas, only a young lad, but I thought he was a little bit out of his depth tonight. I don't think Albrighton played particularly well, but overall, I don't think it was a bad performance. I just think, I think Arsenal just rose to the occasion that little bit more, I think, personally.
Yeah, and let's just add in Mark as well while we're here. Hi, Mark, you all right?
Yeah, I got the own goal right, didn't I?
You did say an own goal, yeah. Fair play. Obviously, as we've just asked, Reese there, Mark, what are your thoughts on the game overall? Obviously, we didn't speak to you at half time, so both halves really. What did you think?
I want to know who's took the aggression out of Chowdhury.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Last season, every time Chowdhury got the ball, you were thinking, is he going to get booked? Is he going to get sent off? How aggressive is he going to be? And like tonight, it was a pussycat.
Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from there. I mean, just a question to both Mark and Reese. Obviously, I asked Tom a moment ago. What are your guys' thoughts on us coming out of the cup? We said before the game, a lot of people were saying, they wouldn't really be too bothered about coming out of a cup competition. I mean, obviously last season it was completely different. We were really hoping for some momentum in the cup. So I'll start with you, Reese. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, we're not Man City, we're not Liverpool, we're not Chelsea, we're not the likes of them teams. So teams like us and Wolves and Everton and teams like that should be really going for this competition and trying to win a cup because barring the Premier League title, we haven't won a cup in quite a while. Obviously, I know that we have European football, and this going out the cup early may help us in the long run to have that extended European run. The competition, I feel we can go far in, but it's obviously everyone wants to win the cup, but it's disappointing to go out at this stage. I would like to be in it a little bit longer.
Yeah, and Mark, are you a bit disappointed or not?
I'm very disappointed, especially at 65 minutes when I thought, we could make the substitutions that could make the difference, and we didn't do anything. We left it. The only reason Madders came off is because he's saving his legs for Sunday. So I pretty much knew then that the cup obviously wasn't going to matter to us.
Yeah. Tom, obviously you mentioned it a moment ago briefly. Just looking forward to Sunday. How do you mention Ndidi back into his normal role in midfield? Do you see Maddison? Do you see Maddison in that starting 11 on Sunday?
Not at the moment, mate. Doesn't look fit enough for me. It's all right getting 65 minutes in against Arsenal's reserve team. What's good for him and fair play, but still doesn't look match sharp. It's going to take time to get anywhere near his match sharpness. It doesn't happen overnight. 4 or 5 games, I think, before you see the Maddison start ticking again. Like I said, Johnny Evans walks back into the team. We missed him over the first 2 games at West Brom, and we missed him against Burnley. I think we proved that if anyone comes physical against us, he got caught. Even Woods not got much pace. He still tried to put the ball in behind, and Ndidi and Sancho got caught out on numerous occasions. And look, as much as people say he did it right there, you've got to be sensible. We've got Johnny Evans, who's been terrific over the last season and a half for us since he's come to the football club. Bar that, I think you keep the midfield roughly as is, and that's going to be the toss-up Mendy or Ndidi for the defensive role. Pratt and Tielemans, you can't drop them. At the moment, they're both playing their best football since being at the football club. I think Tielemans is looking back to his sharpness. We saw that against Burnley with his ball for the second goal. Pratt has been, for me, a steady Eddie since being at the football club, and his performance in the first 2 games from starter positions, again, pushing on further than they normally plays, has been sensational for him. It's the wide men. That's where it's going to be the interesting night, who plays with Vardy up front, because Perez again tonight, it should be scoring from that. They should have scored, I'm sorry, from all of 6 yards out, 7 yards out max, free header. He's got to be putting it on target. And Harvey Barnes is guaranteed his spot really, and he's been good enough over the first 2 games.
Yeah, and Mark, obviously, Tom's given a breakdown there of who he thinks should start against City on Sunday. I would completely agree with what he said about Dennis Pratt and Yuri Tielemans in midfield. I think they've been outstanding in the first 2 games. What are your thoughts on that, Mark? Do you think that besides Ndidi, would you keep the same 11 as Burnley?
I've heard Ndidi's injured. I don't know whether that's true or not.
Yeah, I've heard he's got a knock. I heard he's got a knock or something. I'm not too sure how serious it is or if he's going to miss out on Sunday. But besides Ndidi and besides obviously the defensive midfield spot there, Mark, do you see the rest of the team staying the same as the Burnley game? And Evans as well, obviously,
because the guys haven't done anything wrong. So
yeah,
if it's not broke, don't fix it.
And Reece as well, obviously, if Ndidi is injured and Mendy comes in. Mendy's been pretty good, hasn't he? He has been very good since the season started. Yeah,
he's come in, and obviously Ndidi's world class, and he's one of the best in that position. So if Ndidi's fully fit, he has to play in that position. But Mendy's come in and he has done a terrific job. I think he's broke down the play very well, and he's made some good interceptions, good tackles, and I think he's just been that defensive player that's allowed Tielemans to go forward with Pratt. But like I say, if Ndidi's fully fit, he has to come into that defensive field position.
Brilliant. Thanks, Reece and Mark, for joining. Okay, we'll have a chat with you obviously later in the week, on the weekend as well, before the Man City game, hopefully. Okay.
Thank you.
See you later, Lux.
Cheers, lads. So Tom, obviously, I know I've gone briefly onto the Man City game, but I wanted to go back to something me and Jamie spoke about him before the game a little bit. Demarai Gray. Now, obviously, there's numerous rumours linking him away from the club. Tottenham Hotspur. I think there was another club as well. And he does obviously make out to be this player that does want to play games. Do you agree it's just as simple as he's just doesn't perform when he starts games? I mean, he has shown bits of quality when he's come off the bench in some games. But what are your thoughts on him overall?
I mean, what can you say? Demarai came in the title-winning season, signed by Ranieri for 375 million. I think it was at the time, bargain. We all thought we got a very good, talented winger. Someone who really wants to up his career by coming to a Premiership club. I think we saw sparks of what he could do in that first half of the season. Yeah, I haven't seen anything since. I've not seen, Barra, a wonder strike at Man United away, and the occasional performance. I mean, the first game Pure played manager, and he played we beat Everton 2-0, I think it was, and he ran the length of the pitch, around players for fun. And you're thinking, where's this player? Where's that Demarai we should see week in, week out? And he don't. And there's an attitude problem, I think. So for me personally, I think he thinks he's better than he is, and that he should be starting most games. If you look at Harvey Barnes coming back from a loan from West Brom, he took his chance, and he's just got better and better and better. Where Demarai's had numerous opportunities and running games at times. Probably not last season. He only started 3 games under Brendan, but I think Brendan's seen enough to say, do you know what? No, you're not good enough for this league, or you're not good enough to be playing for me week in, week out. If we could get some money for him, brilliant. Take the money and walk. I mean, was it 25 million apparently 2 years ago Bournemouth offered for him? You look back then and think, we all saw it after 2.5 seasons, there was no improvement. There's been no improvement to him. He hasn't got worse. I will never say he's got worse. He's still got the skills there. We can see that at times. But I've seen no improvement in Demarai Gray in the 5.5 years he's been at the football club now. And I think it's time that we, probably part company, go separate ways, and he might go on and be a well beater. We've seen that with a few players that left Leicester and gone on to do well. It happens. it's just not happened for him at Leicester City, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick says if Gray was in a shop window, it must have been Poundland. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've just signed Under, I think it's pronounced. Obviously, it's a player that has been rated highly as a youngster over the last few years. Hasn't shown it massively at Roma, but still a lot of people who tip him to be, have a lot of potential. Do you see him being our starting right winger going forwards?
I think it'd be an interesting selection because I know Brendan does rate Perez as out the wide for some reason. I don't think he's a wide man. I think he's a number 10 or a striker. I think we've seen the best of him when he's played in those roles. The West Ham away, he played at 10 behind Nacho, and he set up 2 goals that day. He's got quick feet and he's got the ability. We saw that the other night setting up the 3rd goal for Justin in the box. But you don't sign an under-23 Turkish international, who can play wide and then go and sit him on the bench. If Brendan must have seen something of this kid because he hasn't done a lot of Rome in the last season. Was it 3 assists or something like that, or 3 goals and 5 assists? It's not a lot for a winger, to be coming in, and Demarai Gray hasn't done much better than that. So if he's coming in, he's got to be better than what we've already got in this football club. If he comes in and he hits the ground running, then obviously, Perez is under pressure, and Brendan has to find a slot for Perez eventually if he's rating it. I've always said though with Perez, is that his 3rd choice of a striking option, that he knows he's got him there to play as a striker if he needs to, behind Vardy, Iheanacho, and then you've got Perez as his 3rd striker. Because at the moment, I don't see where we're strengthening. We're trying for a centre half we keep talking about, but again, is that just gossip from Saint Etienne trying to get some more money out of West Ham than over us? And I've not had any rumours for a striker, bar the when we linked very early in the transfer window for the Celtic striker. We haven't been linked with any others really, so it's going to be an interesting. We've got 14 days left of the transfer window now. 13 days. 13 days left. It's still time to go and sign players. There is, I think, more we've got to move out first before players come in. I really feel that. I think people need to understand this. The coronavirus has hit football clubs financially big time, and we should be lucky that we're following Premiership football. That there's teams in the lower league who might be gone by this time next year because of not having fans in the ground. So if we don't sign anyone, then it's financial that we need players off the books first.
Yeah, I mean, just touching on what you said there, just a last point we'll discuss, I suppose. I mean, Craig mentioned as well, why haven't we addressed the backup striker problem? If we lose Vardy, we're in deep trouble. It's criminal. I mean, obviously, I don't know why Vardy wasn't on the bench today. I'm not too sure on that. But at the moment, Hurst has gone. Slimani is on his way, or he's lingering about the Saffron Lane somewhere. I don't know. He is somewhere, but do we need one? I mean, I would say we do. Obviously, you said there is Perez the 3rd striker, and I suppose he has that in him. So I'm sure if we needed him, we needed a striker later on the season, we'd probably use him there. But how much do you think we need one, another striker?
Well, we scored 4 goals and Vardy didn't score the other night. Just saying, we rely on Vardy.
True,
but true, I mean, honestly, you do worry. We all know how much Vardy means that team, and he probably set 3 of those goals up, but his movements alone, he's crucial to the way we play. I think we saw tonight again, Iheanacho can be hit and miss. He can come on and be brilliant, but if you start him, you don't really see the true Iheanacho for me. He's a good sub. He's an Arne Gunlarsson. I'm going to go back donkey's years. Arne used to come on and you knew what you were going to get with him. He was going to work his socks off and he wanted to score goals. But if you started him, he was never around. He didn't really show up. Like I said, though, I think it's all down to offloading players first, mate. I think we've seen that. I think you've got to get some of the wage cap down. The wage down, I think, Slimani's on 50,000. Adrian Silva, 70,000. These players are taking up to 150,000 a week in wages. We need them off the books to then go and offer a player that kind of wages. The talk of terminating Silva's contract, if that happens, it's gutting because we paid so much, 22 million back in 4 years ago, is it now, 3 years ago? Yeah. You would hope you got some money back for him, but overall, if you can get the wage bill down and bring someone else in, they might have the funds to buy, but they just can't have the funds to buy and the wages on top. I said it's an interesting situation. We desperately need a striker. If I was honest, I'd prefer to have a striker over a centre half at the moment. I don't know what everyone else's opinion there. If you had a choice, do you go and get a striker or a centre half? You only can have one. For me, you got to look at your options. You got Morgan, I thought, did all right tonight, clear one off the line. You got a Marty, can play in the centre half position if you need him to. Fuchs can play at the centre half. So you suddenly got three centre halves for two positions if you need them in there. You've got a bit of cover. It's patching it, but you've still got some cover there. Where striker-wise, we lose one, and that's it, really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk much at all on Slimani, but in my opinion, if we are paying him, we should be saying to him, we need you tonight. Come down to the ground, and you can sit on the bench, and if we need you, you can come on. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Obviously, because a lot of people would say he doesn't want to be at the club. We shouldn't play someone who doesn't want to be at the club. But in nights like tonight, it would have been handy to have him come off, wouldn't it?
You're paying his wages. I agree with what Neil says. I've said it for months. If you're paying a player's wages and he's at the football club, use him. For these games, use him, because we look what light today up front, and 20 minutes to go. Do you know what? Would it have made a difference? Because Brendan likes playing one-way football, and that's simple. Tonight was interesting because it was the first time I'd actually sat and watched a game with no crowd and listened to Brendan coaching the players and the way he wants them to play. And there was key words: set. The amount of times he said, "Set yourselves, go." And he was telling the players, and a lot of negativity about the ball going backwards. The amount of time Rodgers was getting frustrated, the ball was going backwards when he could see the passes were on. But obviously, the players couldn't see those passes, but he knew the passes were there because he was going, look forward, look to the side. He could see the passes were on, but, sadly, the teams, probably the 11 changes, you could see they haven't played together all the time. They didn't know where each other was on the pitch. And I think it was interesting to see those tonight, that Brendan is trying to make us attack more than we actually think. Even though we pass it back, he is trying to attack. And I think 20 minutes to go, chuck Slimani on. He had nothing to lose, really.
Completely agree. I completely agree. I mean, a lot of people agreeing there with you, Tom. Obviously, a majority of people commenting are saying striker over centre half. Someone did make a good point, and I'm just going to struggle to find it. There we go. Andy obviously says strikers cost a big money. We got to find it from somewhere quickly. Do I think we'll find buy a striker? I don't think we will, but I do think we need one. And lastly tonight, Tom, I know it's a little bit early, but score predictions for Man City. Why not? How do you see that game going?
I think it'd be closer than people think. I know Man City beat Wolves the other night 3-1, but there was space and opportunity to get at the Man City defence.
Yeah.
I've already said I'm quite happy to get a point of the weekend, keep the unbeaten going for the start of the season. I think it'd be 1-1 if I'm honest. Yeah. I think Vardy will keep his goal scoring record up against the top six. He does like a goal at the Etihad, and I'm going for 1-1, mate.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for coming on,
Cheers,
Tom,
mate.
tonight, and I'm sure you'll be on the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Cheers. And Thursday, Fox's Tales.
Tomorrow night we have League One champion, Nicky Adams is joining us tomorrow night to talk about his time in the League One title season. So join me at 7:30, and it should be a good chat actually, because some great moments in there to talk about, the Steve Howard header and the tale of how many goalkeepers we had to have in one season. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Awesome, mate. Cheers.
Good night.
Take care. Bye. So, guys, coming to the end of the show now. Get your final comments in on the game tonight. Let us know what you think. Also, as well, as Tom said, the Man City predictions. Get your thoughts in on the Man City game. Some are already flying in here. Hassan says Man City 0, Leicester 2. Reece says 3-1 to Leicester. Vardy hat-trick. Fingers crossed. That would be brilliant. Adel, quickly going back on the point that me and Tom were discussing, we've been talking about replacing Vardy since the title win, which we have been, and I think Brendan's just trying to get us away from having to play around Vardy, if I'm honest, and hopefully we can find a different striker. But yeah, it's not looking great for a striker this transfer window. Adel says there as well. Tom said it all. Toby said, I don't blame Leicester's defence midfield. The problem was up front. It was. We couldn't break them down. It's happened time and time again with this Leicester team. But, we'll see what we can do against Man City on Sunday with a full strength team. Sid says, I like the positivity for the Man City predictions, don't we all? Pete says, Foxes 2-1. And Anthony says, hopefully a 1-1. And one more comment there. Patrick says 4-2 Leicester. Or 4-2 Man City. Not liking that, Patrick. Not liking that. So, there's a quick comment there from Alan asking how far under is from being clear to play. Not too sure on that, Alan. I'm sure we'll know more over the next few days. Fingers crossed he can make an appearance. Gray says Sunday draw, fantastic result. It would be. Toby also agreeing with that, a 0-0. And Ross says let the Undertaker give a team talk for Sunday's game. Taker knows what it's like to win under pressure. Yes, he does. So yeah, guys, obviously thanks for joining. Thanks for getting your comments in and all watching this evening. A 2-0 loss for Leicester, but we've got 3 more competitions to play for. We've got the Premier League, we've got the Europa League, and we've got the FA Cup as well in January, which starts. So still all to play for. Still got 3 trophies to play for. We've got the Premier League trophy as well to get our second one, but we'll have to wait and see on that. As always, check out our socials at on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Leicester Fan TV, and as well on our website at www.leicesterfantv.com. If you go to the website, you've also got the chance of winning a maroon or white away shirt, so check that out and you could win that. But as always, thanks all for watching, and thanks to all our sponsors who help us bring the free content, and they will be on screen in just a moment. So as always, Man City on Sunday, fingers crossed. Come on, you Foxes.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. With special thanks to our pals at ADT Taxis, Feedme, Piglet's Pantry, Tiger, Leicester Garage Conversions, Pink Vehicle Leasing, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Moyer Wade Interiors, and our chosen charity, Memphis UK. We bring you the fans' views on the match each week, and your views matter to us. Join the fans' debate each match with us. Follow us at Leicester Fan TV.
Everyone, it's Christian Fuchs here. I would like to say a big thank you to our fans and keep having our back for the upcoming Premier League season as well as the Europa League. Keep watching Leicester Fan TV. They have the latest news and they keep you up to date on leicesterfantv.com. So stay tuned and thanks for your support.